Okay, I don't know if it's cutting me up or not, but we're going to do this here. Right, whatever. Anywho, so what we're going to be looking at is a charge to a debit account. And we're going to find the proper venue to discharge. Okay. So a criminal complaint has been lodged against this name, Brandon Eugene Davis. Okay. So now, yeah. All right. So I'm going to read this complaint. This is the charge. Okay. They're charging the debit. They're debiting the account when they file this instrument. When they lodge an information, it is for the purpose of charging and debiting an account. And if account is debited, then another account has to have been credited. And so we're going to find out if the debit was lawful by seeking to find out who is laying claim to the credit, who is claiming that they've been credited. Because whoever's saying that they're credited is saying that the debit was lawful. Someone owed them and they needed this. All right. Remember though, this name, Brandon Eugene Davis. This is the defendant. This has been identified as the defendant. Okay. So this is the asset. This is the asset. Okay. Okay. So what asset do we have here? This is a debit, right? So this is a debit account. All right. So we have a debit account. All right. This is the account. All right. And it's charged against this here. This is a security instrument. Okay. This is what gives value to the asset as the asset. Okay. So we're going to inventory. Inventory 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 charges. There are 9 charges, okay, on the account. All right. Let's read some of these charges. Trademark counterfeiting. That's a bill. This is an invoice. Counterfeiting. That's a bill. This is an invoice. General lighting requirements 2 times. Operation of vehicle without official certificate. That's another charge. Altered, forged, or counterfeit documents and plate. That's another charge. Registration and certificate of title required. 2 charges. So that wait a minute, because it says this twice. So there's actually 11 charges on the count. There's 11 charges. That means that they stuck their card in 11 times withdrawing. They withdrew from the account 11 times. Okay? It says obstruction. No, it says driving while operating privilege is suspended. 2 counts. Obstruction to driving view or mechanism. And prohibition on expenditures for emission inspection. So there are 11 times that they have charged the account. They have debited the account. Okay? Because remember, this is an asset. So it has value. Okay? Let me show you. Oh, yeah, it should be up here. Should be up here. Yeah. This is the name of the on the debitor's account. This is the debit account right here. This is the financial instrument, okay? And all right, here we go. Okay, so this is the account. This is the account authorization information. This is the card. They're charging it. So my first question is, how did they get my card? Because this is my asset. This is my instrument. They've charged my instrument, so they've administrated my estate. Okay? And they're saying that for their services, they're owed 11 times. They've debited the account, right? Now I'm just going to show you that this right here, not even this one. Not even this one. Where is, there it is. This one. This is my creditor's account. This is the charging account. This is the discharging account. So I have both the charging instrument and the discharging instrument. They're one. They work together. So someone is saying that I owe them. Now I know that I didn't give these people access to this account. I already know this. Okay? So now we're going to read off these 11 charges. We're going to get the financial statement. Okay? This is going to be the initial charging of the debit account, right? The police officer has debited the account. Okay? Remember, there's 11 charges. Okay? And the charges against this name, Brandon Eugene Davis. I want y'all to pay specific attention to when this name is mentioned. Not anything that sounds like this name, but this name specifically, okay? On May 22nd, 2024, while on patrol in the city of Duquesne, I, Officer Uhas, in marked Unit 172, was traveling up Kennedy Avenue in the 300 block when a silver Mercedes passed me with expired inspection and expired emissions. I turned around at Kennedy and 4th Street and followed the vehicle down Kennedy Avenue. The vehicle made a right on the South 2nd and then a left onto Library Place. I followed the vehicle and initiated my overhead lights in the 100 block of Library Place. The trunk lid on the vehicle does not close and was bouncing up and down and was being held shut with a bungee strap. So it was being held shut, but he's saying it's open. Just whatever. Anywho, the driver's side tail light was broken and inoperable. The vehicle came to a stop on Library Place, blocking the intersection of Library Place and Cedar Street. I gave the registration to dispatch, which was not a valid registration plate. The registration plate was a printed diplomatic, U.S. Department of State, passport number, and private fake registration plate, purple in color with white block lettering. Have you ever seen a diplomatic plate issued by the Department of State? It doesn't look like that, does it? It doesn't look like that, right? And in order for someone to be trying to fake it, right, it have to look like it, right? Okay, just keep that in mind too. Right, okay. Anywho. He says, I exited my patrol vehicle and initiated my body-worn camera and approached the vehicle. Once at the driver's side window, I asked the driver for his identification, and he handed me a U.S. passport card. This name is not on the U.S. passport card. Keep that in mind. This name is not on the card that he was handed. Looking at the passport card, I recognized the driver from past dealings with as Brandon Davis L. This is not Brandon Davis L. So he says, looking at the passport with the name that says Brandon Davis L on it, he says that after looking at it, he recognized the alleged driver to be Brandon Davis L. Not Brandon Davis. This is important because I'm just going to show y'all. This is Brandon Davis. This is Brandon Davis L. Okay? This is Brandon Davis. This is Brandon Davis L. This is the side of stuff owed. And this is the side of people owed. Okay? All right. Let me get back to it. I asked Brandon if he had a valid Pennsylvania license. And he told me that that's all that he needs, referring to his passport card. This is my national driver's permit over here. This is in need of a license, but this has the authority to do but this does not have the authority to do. So my passport is acting as an international driver's permit in the public, but in the private, it's my right to travel. Okay. Excuse me. I want y'all to listen in. He says, I told him okay and that I would get with him in a minute and return to my patrol vehicle. Now he says that I ran Brandon Davis L through a Allegheny County 911 by name and date of birth, and Brandon Davis L came back as suspended, no reason given. Now I'm going to tell y'all first and foremost, I've never had a license. I've never had one, right? And the state ID number that's associated with the driver's license is under Brandon Davis. He says he ran Brandon Davis L, which is private, and he got Brandon Davis information. We're going to step back real quick. He makes a statement earlier where he says, looking at the passport card, I recognize the driver from past dealings. So that's how he had this information. He says he ran Brandon Davis L, which is private. There's no way that he needs authorization in order to access this private creditor's account. But he's saying that he ran it and got this. I'm going to tell you what he did. Because he was aware of me prior to, when he ran the birth date and name, he ran Brandon Davis. He didn't run Brandon Davis L. He ran Brandon Davis. But in his report, he said that he ran the private information, and that this private information, mind you, there is no state or driver's license, state ID or driver's license information associated with this identity. None whatsoever. Okay? All right. He says the officer, but we're going to pass all of that. He says, I called Allegheny County 911 and requested a tow for the vehicle at my location. So he's coming to take my property. He told you he's coming to take my property. He says, I requested all information be faxed down and a certified be sent to the driver under suspension. So he says to be faxed out and a certified be sent to me. I've never got that. Just letting y'all know that. All right. He says Brandon Davis L. So remember, he's still calling me this name in the report. But he filed the report under this name. Be following me so far. Okay. These are two different accounts on the same ledger. This is the public side. This is the private side. All right. He says Brandon Davis L. requested a supervisor, so the sergeant arrived on the scene. He spoke briefly to the sergeant and then requested the chief. Because chiefs speak to chiefs. You hear me? I'm this guy. I speak to your chief. I'm not this guy. I don't speak to the sergeant. I don't speak to no one lower than the chief. Because I'm the chief. Okay. I'm the chief because that's what my passport says. I have a national ID. I have a real state ID that links me with the state government. I have authorization. I'm an authorized representative of the state on this side. Okay. He says he asked for the chief to come to the scene, to which he was unavailable due to being in a meeting. I exited my patrol unit 172 and returned to the driver's side window and informed Brandon Davis L. that he was currently under suspension, no reason given. So you came back and told me that Brandon Davis L was suspended, no reason given, when it's Brandon Davis that has the ID, the state ID on the local level. And the no reason given, he should have checked. I know what the no reason is. I've never had a license. I've never had one. So you can't charge me for something I've never had. There's no contract. So there's no obligation. There's no duty to perform. All right. Mind you, he's saying that he ran this ID, but got information about this ID. And he's telling me that Brandon Davis and Brandon Davis L are the same person at the same time. And they're not the same person they're the same person, but never at the same time. Okay? So what the officer is attempting to do is mix the private with the public, and you know you can't do that, right? But that's what he's attempting to do. All right. He says, I went to the driver's side window and informed Brandon Davis L that he was currently under suspension, no reason given. It was attempted to be explained to Brandon Davis L that his passport card L that he was currently under suspension, no reason given. It was attempted to be explained to Brandon Davis L that his passport card is considered real ID and will allow him to board a plane and is fine for identification purposes, but it is still not a driver's license and he cannot drive using it as such. So he says that he attempted to explain it to me because I wasn't hearing it. You tried to tell me that. You've given me notice, but I'm in a traveling capacity. And so the private public, which most people are aware of, right? The private public converts my right into a privilege only for the record. Okay? And so it converts my right to travel into a national or international driver's permit. So I have a right to drive with my passport. Yes, the fuck I does. And I know this. Okay? All right. Now, see, the big issue is they won't run your passport because they don't want that shit to come up. Because once your passport's run, it's going to show all of your rights. It's going to express your right to travel. They're going to see that you have a right to move around on a car. They're going to see that you have a right to bear arms. They're going to see all of that. But they ain't run none of that. They ain't run none of it. Okay? All right. He says it was noticed that the registration plate, this is my plate, had a number on it. Hold on. Where we at? Okay, it says it was noticed that the registration plate had a number on it. The number, listen to what he tells you. The number is the number on Brandon Davis L's passport. So the number on the plate that I put on the back of my private car has the same number, the same identity as the passport card. But he did not run the passport card at all. Where did he get this information from? He was given this information, and he used other information that was not given to him. And he keeps telling you that this is the one he's dealing with. Do you understand me so far? This is the creditor side. This is the debtor side. So he's trying to identify, like they did Jesus. They're trying to identify me as the debtor when I came in innocent. I'm the creditor. Okay? Okay. It says he printed so now look, he's making allegations, right? These are other charges that go with those 11 charges, right? It says, He printed the plate and attached the number to it in an attempt to fake a government document. He said that I attempted to fake a government document, but my plate looked nothing like. Nothing. There was no way for anyone to confuse my plate with a U.S. Department of State's registration plate. They don't look the same. But he's saying that I acted fraudulently. Now they're going to have to prove that. And they can't, because I was never acting fraudulent. All right. And I'm going to tell you some more as we get deeper in so y'all can really see what's going on here, right? I'm up. I'm going to show y'all that I'm up. All right. It says, we can skip through all of that because that's dealing with my sister. All right. It says Brandon proceeded. No. Okay. He says he printed art. He says Leo's towing then arrived on scene and Brandon was requested. So that means he was asked. That means he asked me. Right? If you request, that means that there's a possibility of denial, right? Okay. He was requested to exit the vehicle. Brandon Davis L. asked this officer that if he does not get out of his vehicle, will he be arrested? And I answered him yes. So he didn't request for me to get out my vehicle. He was giving me an order. He was charging me. But he says in here that he requested. If you request, there's a denial. But you're saying, but then I asked him, if I don't get out my car, will you arrest me? Yes, that's a threat. That is a threat. You didn't ask me now. You told me if I don't get it, you're going to get me anyway. Okay? But remember, he said he requested for me to get out. And when I asked him, if I don't get out, will you arrest me? He said, yes, I will arrest you if you don't get out. That is not a request. Okay. The passenger then exited the vehicle and identified herself at the instruction of Brandon Davis L. Her information was run and everything was good. Okay. Brandon proceeded to tell this officer that he beat cases in Duquesne and West Mifflin and that he will beat this one as well. You fucking right, I told him that. Fucking right, I told him that because I've already done it. Already done it. That's why they keep pursuing me because they keep trying to. But nah, this time y'all niggas pay. Y'all gotta zero out the account this time because this time I understand what's going on in the courtroom. All right. Anywho, he then told this officer on body cam that Joseph Hayes, a former officer in Duquesne, was relocated because of him filing a lawsuit against Duquesne. So I didn't say that. I said two different things, and he's putting it all together. I told him that that his fellow officer was transferred because that nigga was a liability. All right? That's what I told him. And I told him that I've already filed suit against them. Not him, them. Okay. I informed him that information was incorrect. He's telling me it's incorrect, but the magistrate was the one who told me the nigga was gone before I even went down to court. The magistrate told me, and he ain't have no reason to, but he wanted me to let it be known to me while I was dealing with a whole other case in front of him that this officer who has taken me to court, who's filed criminal charges against me, will not be at the court date. He won't be there. He's going. The magistrate told me this. As a matter of fact, I have a creditor judgment in that case because the officer didn't show up. So I didn't lie to this other officer. I have a creditor judgment. So once this is done, I'm taking both of my creditor judgments and I'm coming to collect. Y'all hear me? Malicious prosecution, vexatious litigation, deprivation of rights, discrimination because of religious beliefs, national origin, citizenship status, all of that. We bring all of that shit down the pipe. All right. He said, I informed him that was incorrect and that the officer had taken a job in another state. Brandon stated, yeah, because of him. And I told him it was fine. He could believe whatever he chooses to believe. You fucking right. I know that's why the nigga left. The nigga left. They got him out of there because of some shit he was doing that other officer ain't even aware of. This officer who tried to do the same shit that he's doing to me now, this nigga did some foul shit and it came out. And they had to get that nigga out because they knew I was coming. And they ain't know how much I knew. They just knew that I knew enough to get them niggas squirming in their seat. But see, now I know it all. Fuck all that squirming. Word. All right. Anywho. He says he stated that he was what Brandon stated what he was free. Listen. He stated that he was free to travel about. So I told him I wasn't driving anyway. Told him I'm traveling. He stated that he was free to travel about, and I told him this has nothing to do with him traveling. So he's not even talking to me about my rights. So what are we doing over here on the side of the road? If this ain't got nothing to do with me traveling, which is my right, fuck is you over here finagling me for? This is called robbery ashore. In the feds. He's a pirate. They're pirateering. They're pirating. They're stealing. They're not only stealing from me, they're stealing from the U.S. government. That's where their ass is in fire at. Because I know this and I know how to bring it. All right. Anywho. I then reiterated to Brandon Davis L. that the vehicle is not legal to be driven on Pennsylvania roadways due to the condition of the car. So now he's trying to find another reason to say that I can't move my shit. So what did you stop me for? He said it says here that he stopped me for emission stickers. Now you telling me then you want to tell me about my plate and lie about my plate. And when I didn't take your fucking bait, now you trying to tell me that you're stopping me because of the condition of my car. Which is it, nigga? Which is it? Anywho, he said that the towing people informed him that the car would have to be privately towed from his impound lot since it is not legal to be driven. So they took my shit and they took my plate. All right. Where's it at? He said it was fine. He will sue and win. And I said, I have a job to do following the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which he didn't do. He didn't follow the laws because I am the law. Fuck you mean? You ain't follow me. I'm the law. You got me over here on statutes and shit. I'm the law over here, nigga. Legal, lawful. They're one, but not at the same time. You digging? All right. Debits, credits. All right. So he impounded. He says, I would have to get it out because the impound, whatever. He said, Brandon said it was fine. He will sue and win. And I said, I have a job to do with the Pennsylvania, and that he can fight this with the ADA, that's the district attorney, and the magistrate. Brandon stated, yeah, he won't be happy, meaning the magistrate, because the magistrate wasn't happy either. That's why he's fit to take an L too, because he got his hands dirty too. His hands is dirty too. They all conspired to unjustly enrich. His hand dirty. His hand got caught in the cookie jar too. Caught him. So he ain't gonna be happy at all when this shit. But anywho, because justice will take its course. Anywho, all right. I then asked him why he no longer had a valid PA registration, because that he did have one before. So I only got that because the officer who got kicked off the force, right, or relocated, before he relocated, he was harassing me to the point where I went and got a registration plate just for him to stop taking my card away. He was taking it. And I let that registration run out because it was done under coercion any fucking way. But did I tell him that? No. He said because he did have it before, and he asked if he was required to answer any questions. And I stated that he did not. And then he stated, was he free to go? And I stated yes. And that he would be receiving paperwork by mail. I received no paperwork by mail. Them niggas came to my house 10 days later and served me with a warrant. Never, but it says that I was supposed to get something by the mail. I got nothing. Nothing. So this is a false report. Because if in the report he said I was going to get a filing, then why did the warrant come? The warrant was issued the same day the filing was filed. So he asked for it. So he lied. And it was filed. So he asked for it. So he lied. And the magistrate had to have read this and said, okay, so he conspired against me. Because I ain't getting nothing in the mail. I got 3 officers at my crib 12 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday with guns and talking about we got a warrant. And I asked for the warrant. And them niggas said, well, we ain't got it. We give it a Saturday with guns and talk about we got a warrant. And I asked for the warrant. And them niggas said, well, we ain't got it. We give it to you. Anywho, so listen, right? He said, after speaking to the U.S. Department of State in the Chicago field office, they confirmed that Brandon Davis was not issued any registration for his vehicle from their department and requested copies of this report to initiate their own investigation. Wasn't that nigga calling me Brandon Davis L the whole time? And then now he wants to talk to the U.S. Department of State. Brandon Davis L was in line with the U.S. Department of State. No, he asked them about Brandon Davis. But his stupid ass gave them this report. And in this report, Brandon Davis L's information is all in it. So what do you think is going to happen when Chicago the field office runs that report and tells them niggas, yeah, y'all got a problem. Y'all got a problem because you keep calling me Brandon Davis L. And you even gave us Brandon Davis L's credit or account number. He gave it to you. And we have no evidence that he ever gave you this here. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, Oh, here we go. So now, mind you, right? These are the charges that are pending. I'm going to show you all what charges. So I weighed this out of the magistrate because I understood that the magistrate is not a court of record, right? They don't have the record of debits and credits. I need this shit to be placed and pressed onto the record. So I waved that shit downtown. So when I got downtown, right, when the information gets downtown, because mind you, I done had to bail out. And once I bailed out, now I'm getting all of the, I'm getting all the charges. I'm getting the report. And I'm being told that I have to show up at arraignment. Now, mind you, in the report, it tells you that I was supposed to get something in the mail. I'm telling you, I never got anything in the mail that came and got me out of my home 10 days later talking about they had a warrant. They gave me a warrant But the paperwork says that I was supposed to get an issue, something in the mail. So it gets down to the district attorney's office. All right. So now I made bond, and I show up at the court. I show up at the arraignment. I get the plea bargain. Right? They show me the plea bargain. Y'all want to know what they're offering me? Driving without license, $300 fine. And as a subsequent, if I were to plead guilty to drivers without a license, that'd be a year's suspension on a license that I don't even have. Which keeps coming up that the reason for the suspension is unknown because there's not one on file any fucking way. So now mind you, we got Title 18 charges on here and we got Title 75. So when I got down and I got to the arraignment, right, and I looked at the paperwork, right, this charge right here, trademark counterfeiting, look, that's the main charge, right? That's the highest, that shit was withdrawn. That charge isn't even on the table, even if I say no to this. Now, that trademark counterfeit is what they used to come and arrest me. They violated me. And when it got to the DA's office, the DA said, nah. Do you understand me? Right now, the trademark counterfeiting, the trademark counterfeiting charge, and I believe one of the driving while operating privilege suspended, those two are off the table. So that means that what's on the table is altered, forged, or counterfeit documents and plate. And then the rest of them are summary offenses. You can't say that it's it's not a forged plate. There was no fraud behind it. Forgery is fraud. I have the right to exercise. It was a public notice. Mind you, they called it a fake registration plate, but they never asked me. I'm the owner. What was your intentions of having this plate? What authorized? No one asked me that. I'm going to make these motherfuckers prove everything. I'm going to make them prove I'm Brandon Eugene Davis. So it ain't on this one. All right, I'm going to prove to them. I'm going to make them prove that I'm black. The debtor. Right? So with all of that, right? So these are my filings, right? Because I'm coming in pro se. And if you remember, like I was telling people before, I come in pro se because now I'm the prosecutor. Under Brandon Davis L., I have the same authority as the prosecutor. So now I'm filing motions to dismiss. And if you see, it says pro se plaintiff. I'm not identified as the defendant. In the police report, Brandon Eugene Davis is the defendant. I'm not Brandon Eugene Davis at this time. That's not the capacity, not the hat I'm wearing. I'm wearing the creditor's hat. And so they're screwed. Anywho, so now every time you file, now I'm charging them. Now I'm debiting from them, right? And I'm requiring compensation. I am now auditing their audit. Okay? I've turned the tables. I made them the defendant and defense. Because I have the proper status. I have the proper state of mind. What state of mind is the proper one? God state, the unification of man and God, the unification of the state and the statesman. I'm a statesman. I'm we the people. I'm the attorney general, and I'm operating on the private constitutional side, the creditor side. I'm not operating over here in the public 14th Amendment side. That's where they're coming. I'm coming over here. What was said here? Let's see. So did you counterclaim within the same case as the defense? All right. So yeah, I was going to get to that. So I filed a motion to dismiss fraud on the court, forged instruments. I filed a notice of rule nisi because this is all contracting. I filed an order for motion to dismiss, assumes facts not in evidence, right? And in my order, if you see down here, I wrote out the order. Paid to the order of. So I'm writing out my orders here, you hear me? Because I understand this is a bill. These niggas is trying to charge me $300. Nah, nigga, I need 250 grand. Right? I got a notice of claim. This is my affidavit of truth. I filed this first. It says, my nationality is Moorish American. My religion is Islamism. My religious affidavit of organization and jurisdiction, Moorish Science Temple of America, has been filed at the Cook County Recorder's Office, Chicago, Illinois, Form 1099, file number 1010-5905. My president is Prophet Noble Drew Ali. All members are required to learn and abide by and enforce the divine laws and constitutions of these United States of America as free inhabitants and national citizens of their republics. I did declare my national, peaceful American pedigree and my allegiance to the state national government in which I live and am recorded with the U.S. Department of State, Pennsylvania, USA, as my birthplace, as such, and have been issued a national identification card and gave them the number and gave them the number. I hereby invoke all of my inherent rights and at no times waive any knowingly and or willingly. According to my declared status, I cannot be treated as a person of color, a debtor, or debtor for an unwarranted claim. As my religious principles, this is my trust in administration, will not allow my person to engage in foreign policies, and I am subject only to the laws of the land. No usurpation or bills of attainder is permitted as a Muslim American. So I'm already on the record, right? What am I reading? This is my notice of claim affidavit of truth that I have filed, right? And then I was going to lead up to what you would ask me about, right? So that's my notice of claim. I have another motion, order to dismiss, frivolous filing, vexatious litigation, requiring them to discharge all of this shit. Look, right? And so this goes along with everything that I just read. And it says, remember the police officer, right? He's the affiant. It says sources presumed reliable. That's already no go because we're in a criminal. You can't presume that nigga to be reliable. All right. It says, i.e., other police officer, eyewitness, or victim of crime. Source has given information in the past which has led to arrest and or conviction. So he's saying, now I don't have any past convictions with them, so I don't know what he's talking about. It says defendant's reputation for criminal activity. He's that's called defamation of character. It says this source made declaration against his or her penal interest to the above offense. He says affiant and or other police officers corroborated details of the information. I said prosecution has improperly filed a civil complaint in a criminal action. Complaint lists reliability of affiant or complainant as presumable, which violates due process in a criminal matter. Criminal actions cannot initiate under presumable evidences. Prosecution assumes facts, not in evidence. Prosecution has produced no discovery which supports its claim or discredits the claim of the accused of the right to due process. Prosecution's witness is incompetent to testify to an unfounded accusation. Affiant's accusation is presumed true and is therefore not a fact in the record. Prosecution is incompetent to bring proper claims as it lacks the requirements of a valid claim. No competent witness, no verified complaint, no liable claimant seeking relief. Facts cannot be presumed in criminal court. Prosecution has failed to state a proper claim for which relief can be granted and has wasted this honorable court's time. Relief. I move this court to dismiss this fraudulent finding upon the aforementioned grounds for failure to show cause. All right. I also filed a motion in limine. All right, so on top of all of these things, right, what I had also done during these proceedings is I went and I filed an offer of consideration, a petition for an offer of consideration for $100,000 to compensate me, my time and my labor against all of this bullshit. This is to indemnify me. So there's already a record of account there's an account on record where it reads Brandon Davis L versus the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I just need my bread. I don't care what y'all niggas do. Give me my bread. You can write it out, pay to the order of Brandon Davis L. You can give me whatever. You can give me the coupon so I could go to the comptroller and they can issue me a motherfucking charge card. I don't give a fuck. It's gonna happen. Just pay me, yo. Just pay me. All right. So understanding accounting, the basics of accounting, I was able to get right to the heart of the matter. So right now, I'm waiting for discovery, right? They've given me all of the written discovery, but I'm still waiting for what I require from them was the audio, was the dash cam, body cam footage, as well as the dispatch audio. Because the officer made claims that he talked and he said Brandon Davis L. And I just want to make sure I hear that shit for the record. Because I know he didn't say Brandon Davis L. Or if he did say Brandon Davis L., he instructed someone not to use the L and just run Brandon Davis. And that's not proper procedure. Just because you knew me by a different name, I gave you this information. I ain't never gave you that other information, so you've unlawfully administrated my estate. Right? So now I get this public defender, right? I wanted the public defender just because I desired to have someone to talk to so that I could, basically get some assistance in procedure, right? But the public defender, they didn't want to help me, right? So when I first showed up, how can we learn from you, bro? Oh man, stay tuned. Go to the YouTube channel, link in bio, man. Real shit. So the head public defender, right? Oh, I didn't even print it out. So when I came to her the first time, I had my fez on, I'm clean, right? I got my passport. I got my UCC1 financing statement. I've got my birth certificate. And I got my checkbook. And I'm showing her these things, right? And we're talking, and she says something to the effect of, "Oh, I know what you mean," right? Basically, she was just like, I'm not. She don't want no parts of this. She wants off of it. So she goes and she files a protective order, right? And then when I look at the docket, I'm like, what is this about, right? So that's also something that I need in a discovery. I sent the public defender a letter of rogatory. Yeah, I ain't do none of that. I see, I came in as a good businessman, right? And we spoke, and I expressed to them that this is how I desire to proceed, right? So I'm not hearing nothing they got to say, right? If it doesn't sound like it's in my best interest. And so because I was adamant about my position, but respectful and honorable, right? They all said, "Hey, why don't you just fill out this form, right? Saying that you're waiving counsel." Now get the fuck off my case and stop slowing me down. I'm bringing this shit. I'm not letting them bring nothing on me because as usual, all she trying to do is deal me out. No one's there to fight for me. And it's like, no, see, I know what's going on here. And even if I say yes, I'm still going to go back on appeal. But I'm not even with all of that shit. Because if I say yes, y'all niggas ain't going to give me my car back. No, look, I need all my shit. I need to be made whole, motherfucker. You hear me? I need my car. I need my plate. I need everything that y'all ever took from me. And if y'all can't give it to me, y'all going to have to compensate me. It says so in the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? It's trust and administration. It's accounting. It's business management. All right? For all the people saying that they're not state citizens, that's on y'all, man. Real shit. I got two citizens. I got 2 U.S. citizens. And I know that one's a debtor. And if one's a debtor, then I know the other one's a creditor. And I have to act according to the proper rule. If I'm in the wrong, hey, I still got to act as creditor, but I got to pay out through the debtor. But I'm not in the wrong, so I don't even have to pay out. No. Someone has to discharge someone else's account. They're going to have to charge back the account because they debited my account with all these charges. So they're going to have to put that back. Then they're going to have to give me something too. It's like when you make a charge on your card and you overdraft. All right, well, you got to replace that money, but you still got to replace the little fee too. So it's the same. They owe me bread. They owe me bread. And I didn't go in there saying any statutes, any codes. I kept it basic. I kept it plain, right? Because it's not up for me to give them all of that shit. I'm not even here on that, right? I can explain it to a 7-year-old. Somebody caused me harm. Someone say I know enough about the situation to inform them, yes, someone debited my account, and I would like to know who is the one, what account did the debit, what account that took the debit, what was accredited, what account, I need to find the credited account. I need to find it so that I can verify these charges, and then we can have some consideration. But if you can't verify this claim at the bank, nigga, the bank on its own shouldn't even let that shit go through. And that's what I'm banking on. You hear me? You heard me? So again, for all of those people out there, I'm telling you all, I'm walking through the fire right now. All right. And I'm going to put y'all up on something. My brother, I was speaking with a good brother a few days ago, and we were just discussing court cases, and we were discussing religion. And he had told me that some things that I had mentioned to him cleared up So he had information. Oh, there it goes. So the brother put me on this book right here. If y'all want me to help y'all with y'all personal issues, I need y'all to understand that I don't work for free. Y'all asking me questions on here like I'm just supposed to shoot off. I'm here to tell y'all what I'm here to talk about. If you want me to help you with all of that, fine. But you gotta pay me. You gotta holler at me. Not while I'm out here giving no lie. Put something in my message. We could talk. Right? If you go to my page, if you go to my profile, you'll see that donations and love donations are welcome. So if you want to do business with me, pay me like pay me what I weigh. But anywho, because it's not even really about that. I'm just not here to be a lawyer. I'm just here to show you what I'm doing. So anywho, this book here, I'm beginning to read this book, right? And this book, the things that I was sharing with the brother, I'd never read this book. He had read this book. I don't know nothing about the master key. The majority of my learning comes from Noble Drew Ali, and anyone that I can find that has similar that follows similar principles. So if it's the I don't know what the master key is, but hey, that's what's up. If that's it, that's it. Anywho, let me stop talking. Let me listen. I've already opened this book and started reading it, and I'm already able to bring the concepts together that I have been reading and teaching out of this literature here. Y'all just asking me questions. This is not Q&A. All right, so I'm just going to ignore. All right. So this information here has certain stuff that's said in here. And this was back in 1929. This was 1929. And this is 2017. So, I'm getting the same information. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just letting y'all know. And then again, this is the book that gave me my accounting foundation to start seeing shit for what it really is. You know what I'm saying? So I hope this has been helpful for y'all, right? I felt compelled to speak it to you all, to share with you all, right? To show y'all that it doesn't take all of this package running around. It really just takes understanding the basics, the fundamentals. Don't be Shaquille O'Neal. Be Tim Duncan. The fundamentals. When you know the fundamentals, it's game over. All right. Appreciate you all for coming as always. I'm your brother man, come to show you the way. I appreciate the love. I mean, no offense to anybody. You all take care. And again, if you wish to get at me about anything personal, DM me. All right. Can you show those books again? All right. Here's the first one. It's about $10. Here, let me try to hold it up so that it's okay. And then this is the next one. And then this one you will find on my website. The other two you can find on Amazon. But this here you get from my website, or you can get, you can get the information through your own due diligence. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm the only one with the information. I am, however, saying that I'm the only one that I can tell that understands the information and is applying the information the proper way. You know what I'm saying? So you all take care. I hope that has been helpful for you all. Till next time, peace and love.